Thank you for joining me today as we look at the various benefits on offer for businesses as at March 29th, 2020. It is indeed interesting times in which we live. Today, I want to give you some high-level advice around the state and federal government packages, but a couple of caveats first. This is not tailored to individual situations and should not be construed as the basis for action. The stimulus packages are still evolving, particularly in terms of how they are applied. We have already been told the third package will be delivered in the next few days. Today, I will be referring to the federal and state government packages, and for our interstate clients, those outside Queensland, we will need to converse separately to see in detail what is offered by the various state governments. While there are similarities between the various state authorities, there are also large differences in the practicalities. We do not know how big this crisis is or how long it will go for. This makes it difficult to be black and white even when we know your circumstances in detail. This video will focus on the business benefits available rather than the personal claims. Please note the ATO have advised that no refunds will be made prior to the 29th of April. That's the day after non-electronic lodgements are due. Next week, we will be offering a fee-based option which will include a detailed analysis of your circumstances and recommendations for a step-by-step plan to ensure that nothing has been overlooked. There will also be a DIY option available if that is your preference. Okay, moving on to the important stuff. Bear with me as this exercise will be looking at certain situations as well as the various offers available. The first situation we will look at is where your business has either been shut down by government decree, effectively shut down by government decree, or shut down for some other reason. Basically, that means there is little, if any, identifiable income for the foreseeable future. There are two options. One, put the business into a dormant status and apply for Social Security, or apply for a Queensland government loan, or perhaps even the federal option, and tough it out. The QG loan, the Queensland Government loan, has outstanding terms and is based on wages payable or paid for the 2019 financial year. This avenue should be carefully considered as it may just put you in debt for years to come. Applying for Social Security is no small matter at the best of times, particularly when you have structures in place. Make sure that first you stake a claim. This is a simple and quick process, and it means that whatever you have coming to you will be backdated to the date of that claim. Be warned, the Social Security system is completely overwhelmed and response times are much worse than their normally fairly poor performance. Do whatever you can online. Stay away from the Centrelink offices. We've all seen the queues going for hundreds of metres. I am told that 2 a.m. is a great time to use the online system. Alrighty, what are the main things that I can use if I decide to carry on business? Number one, in probably every way, is the federal government cash flow assistance or cash flow boost for businesses. Unsurprisingly, this is a little complicated, but the good news is that no application is required. It's based on your employee PAYG component in your BAS lodgement, and you don't have to do anything, possibly with the exception of look at your personal circumstances. The most common question we receive is, have I kept my earnings to company dividends and trust distributions? Can I switch my income to PAYG salary? The legislation contains an integrity provision that says, if the sole or dominant purpose is getting the boosts, the arrangement will be illegal. We have strong legal advice on this, but we need to consider all issues in your situation. The next question we get asked is, how much do I get? We ran scenarios for 3 different clients and got fairly similar results. No payment necessary and a small refund. Again, this will vary from business to business, but don't expect rivers of cash flowing in. It is more about less cash flowing out. Some businesses that have high PAYG BAS components can expect cash injections. The cash boost is calculated by multiplying the PAYG component of the activity statements for March by 3. I'm not going to go into this in great detail because there's a whole stack of whys and wherefores. But what's important to remember is that this cash flow boost is tax-free income and it has no GST component to all relevant businesses. A minimum of 20k and a maximum of 100,000 will be allowed for in the March, June and September periods. If you are carrying tax debt, refunds will be used to eliminate your debt before any cash refunds are made. We are getting some conflicting information on that, but I would suggest we use that for our position at this point. Number 2, apprentices. A 50% subsidy for apprentice or trainee wages. This is for firms with less than 20 full-time employees for January to September 2020 for a maximum of $21,000, that is $7,000 per quarter, to retain apprentices or trainees employed as at March 1, 2020. There are some provisions that allow you to get the benefit if you subsequently take on an apprentice laid off elsewhere. Queensland payroll tax. If you pay payroll tax, you should have already heard from the Office of State Revenue. If not, contact them and ask them to get on your case. There are refunds there. There are nil lodgement periods and there are deferred periods. So it's a pretty handy benefit. PAYG instalments for companies, that is company tax. If you trade via a company, you can vary your PAYG instalment on your BAS to nil for the March and June quarters. Similarly, if you trade by a company, you can seek a refund of PAYG instalments paid for in the September 19 and December 19 quarters. For some people, that will amount to some fairly substantial money. So if you're trading by a company, please consider that one. Number 5, ATO commitments. You can defer tax. That includes GST, pay-as-you-go instalment notices, fringe benefits tax and excise payments for up to 6 months. Now that will be a significant cash flow boost for a lot of companies. Bear in mind that is a deferral. It is not a holiday, or you don't have to pay this at any other time. ATO debt. If you're carrying ATO debt, there are low interest loans on offer. What constitutes low, we haven't found out yet, but I suspect it will be startlingly different from the current, I think, around 9%. Penalties and interest. All penalties and interest for businesses incurred after January the 23rd of this year will be remitted. You will need to make application for those. It's not an automatic process. Number 8, this is quite a big one for some businesses, so you may want to listen carefully. There is an instant asset write-off and an accelerated depreciation provision. They are different, they work differently, but the net effect is they do provide some substantial benefits for those who are looking to purchase equipment for the business. Now, the complication of this means that we need to have some fairly detailed discussions. We recommend against spending for the sake of the tax implications. Spending that has been allowed for and is expected to be brought forward is really the main consideration. Number 9, solvency and litigation loosening. In short, it will be harder to sue and get sued for the next 6 months. Certain aspects of the Corporations Act are being relaxed for a limited period. Speak with us if you need further detail in this area. Number 10, government-supported finance. Federal, new unsecured loans from financiers to small, medium enterprise sector businesses, guaranteed 50% by the government, to a total of $250,000 per borrower for a term of up to 3 years with a 6-month repayment holiday. 3 years sounds like a long time now, but I can assure you For for principal and interest loans for working capital, that is a very short period of time. Queensland, 10-year job support loans up to $250,000 with low interest, 12 months interest free, 2 years interest only, and 7 years of P&I. Much more respectable package. But bear in mind, I think there's a matter of only $500 million on offer. Okay, state government is also offering assistance for manufacturers having difficulty sourcing materials, and the Queensland state government is providing a $500 energy rebate for businesses using less than 100 kilowatt hours. After so much doom and gloom, I'd like to express just a little bit of confidence. This is my 5th economic downturn and my 3rd major economic slump. This crisis too will pass just as the rest of them have passed. For those still standing on the other side, there will be opportunities. Let us work together to ensure that you are counted in that number. Thanks very much for watching this video. I trust it is a useful resource. Please give us a like below and feel free to share it as you see fit. We're extending both fee-based and DIY options to all businesses later this week, but priority will be given to Magnus's existing clients.